Hi Pamela. This is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and this is your new home double duty sewing machine. I just brought it out of the warehouse, and since it's been sitting for a while, I opened it up and re-oiled it and retested everything to make sure that it's all working as it should. And this is our final test. We're going to video it for you and also for posterity, because other people online are going to want to see this, because we're going to show you how to thread the machine and wind the bobbin and how to work the various controls. So for starters, let's wind a bobbin. So you have your thread on the thread spools, which are in the back here, the thread pins. You go through the eyelet of this guide back here. It's easier when the wind's not blowing. Then you want to go around this tension device in a clockwise direction, so you're actually crossing over your thread. Then back here to the bobbin, which I've already put on the bobbin winder here. So let's start it on the bobbin. You put the thread through one of the holes. Put the thread through one of the holes from the inside to the out. Hold on to the end of the thread and give it a few wraps, just enough so the thread stays on. And then put it on the bobbin winder with the thread going around the back towards the front. So it'll go this way. Put it on the bobbin winder and push it forward into place. There's a chrome knob in the center of your hand wheel, which you loosen and turn towards you a quarter of a turn, and that releases the clutch so that the rest of the machine doesn't cycle while you wind the bobbin. But you can see that the bobbin is turning here. Then you don't have to go fast, but give it a little bit of gas and keep the finger on your thread spool so it doesn't spin too wildly. We're not going to put very much thread on because this is just a test. But if you were to fill a full bobbin, as the bobbin fills up, it will push itself away from the stop here until it turns off the bobbin winder. So when your thread spool is full, it turns itself off. Retighten your clutch knob. Then your thread wants to go through this same eye of the thread guide over here. But this time, instead of going under the tension discs, we're just going to go straight across to this thread guide in the front, down and into the between the two discs of the upper tension device, and it will catch the check spring here, and you'll pull up until the thread goes into the notch at the top. So you pull up, and there your thread's in the notch, and when you pull up on the thread here, you'll see it make the check spring go up and down. Okay, through the take-up lever, down into this thread guide down here.
Radio check. Can anybody hear me out there?
Ignore the radio check. And then to this last thread guide on the needle clamp. Then the machine threads from left to right.
The drummer, we're getting you a little bit better in the house than on this unit.
You're a Leisureland community, and there's a lot going on most of the time.
Somebody just starting to break my couch, but I could not hear you.
And we keep in contact by radio because we're a little bit spread out. It's just convenient that way. So let's see. Through the needle from left to right.
Sound any better?
So you insert your bobbin in the bobbin case with the thread coming off of the bobbin this way, off the top of the bobbin to the right. I'm going to cut off that little bit of a tag of a tail there. So put it in the bobbin case, and there's a little slot here that your thread's going to go into on the bobbin case, and under this flat leaf spring you pull up until it clicks into place. Then there'll be a little bit of tension on the bobbin. It needs a little bit more tension than that. We're going to tighten it up just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. You should be able to dangle the bobbin in the bobbin case by the thread, but just barely. It shouldn't be too tight. Okay, so you've got all this extra tail coming off. Hold on to your lever, and again, that locks the bobbin into the bobbin case so it doesn't fall out. And this little finger is going to go into the slot that's made for it. You push this hole in the middle onto the spindle down there. Push it in until that little finger goes into the slot at the top. You'll be able to tell when it's in there securely. Your top thread's just going to kind of sit there. Take your needle thread and hold on to it loosely and turn the hand wheel towards you one full turn till the needle comes back up again all the way to the top, and then you'll be able to just pull your lower thread up. Because what happened when you cycled it was that the needle went down and the hook picked up the thread and wrapped it around the bobbin and around the bobbin thread and pulled it back up with it. So you're going to want to leave 5 inches or so of tail on there, and you're going to want both your threads to go back under your presser foot like that. So that's it, threaded, easy. We have a piece of denim here. This is some fairly heavy denim off of a pair of Carhartts, and this is your stitch length adjustment here from 0 to 4. The 0, of course, being very short stitches, and the higher you turn it towards 4, the longer and longer your stitches get. If you go to the left beyond 0, you go to where it drops the feed for if you want to move the fabric by hand, like for machine embroidery or applique or darning or patching or anything like that. So we're going to put this on about 1.5. Going to make a reasonably short stitch. Your stitch width is 0 to 5, and when you set your stitch width, like to do a zigzag, make it as wide as you want, 0 of course being straight stitch and 5 being the widest zigzag. So let's set it, say, at about 3, just for a medium zigzag. This little knob here locks that in position, so it's not going to change while you're working. So I'm going to loosen that knob again and go back to 0, because we're going to start with a straight stitch. Clutch knob is tight. This is your presser foot adjuster. This adjusts how much pressure your sewing foot puts on the fabric. Right now it's 0 pressure. We're going to push it down about halfway or so. And to release it, you just push down on this collar around it. It pops right up, and you instantly have 0 pressure. And you push it down to wherever you like it. About halfway is medium pressure for regular sewing. If you're sewing something really light, delicate, you might want to have a little less. All right, springtime. If you're sewing something really heavy, you want it probably going to want to have more pressure, but you'll get used to that. Okay, so foot pressure is set, bobbin winder is off, clutch knob is tightened. This is your needle position. You can have your needle to the far left, to the center, or to the right for straight stitching. That's to the left all the way over. That's the middle. That's the right. Pretty easy. We're going to leave it in the middle. And we're going to sew a stitch. So drop your, back here is your presser foot drop. Let me lift it. Put a finger on your threads back here for the first couple of stitches. Put your fabric under the presser foot. Drop the foot. Hold on to your threads for the first couple of stitches. There you go. Listen to that nice, smooth, quiet stitch. Nice and even, well balanced. So a little more stitch length. We're going to go up between 2 and 3. You'll see the fabric's moving much faster now because the stitches are longer. And then all the way up to 4, and you're going to have long stitches. The fabric's going to move real fast. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to put the needle in the left-hand position. Move to the center position. Move to the right position. And of course, always have your needle up out of the fabric when you change it. Okay, so back in middle position. And we're going to sew some zigzag. And you got your stitch width here. Make sure this knob is loose. Push the lever over as far as you want. I'll go all the way up to 5 with a little wide stitch. And then retighten that knob to lock it in place. And do a short stitch. Nice even zigzag, no skipped stitches, nicely balanced on both sides. This machine does a real nice satin stitch. If you're really close, you'll probably want a satin stitch foot so it doesn't hang up under this flat pressure foot. But that's about it. I can't think of anything else to tell you about this great machine. Clean it and oil it regularly if you want it to last forever. When you do so, this your needle plate just lifts off. You don't have to loosen these screws. You just lift it out of the way, and then move the presser foot too. And then you want to clean out all the dust and lint that gathers around your feed dogs. And brush out in here and brush out this area in here and vacuum it. Get all the dust out. and then just put 1 drop of oil at each of the movement points. And if you cycle the machine by hand, you can see where everything moves. And you see that this bar here pivots on these 2 little needle screws. This fork moves back and forth in this cam. It also has those little needle pivot screws. It moves on. There's a pivot here. This block slides up and down in this fork, and it needs a drop where the block attaches to the linkage here, and also a couple of drops in here inside the fork. Here. There's an oil hole here. Usually there's an oil hole here, but just put a drop of oil on either side of the block that moves back and forth in. Put a drop of oil on this little bar here that it, I guess it's a guide that this thing rides on. Here, over here. And when you drop your feed, it's going to pull this little pin out. So if you watch that, see it pulls that pin out so your feed dogs can drop. So you want to put a drop of oil up in here where it pivots, and a drop of oil on the pin that pivots in it. And you turn it back to stitching, and it pushes the pin back in and locks the feed dogs in their upright position. Okay, let's see. Make sure your cords are out of the way before you put the machine back down, so you don't damage your cords. You put your needle plate on. It's got a little notch here that goes under this back screw. And then you just drop it onto the other 2 screws. And when you close your slide plate, that locks it in place. Cycle this end and just look to see what moves. Up here in the corner, the take-up lever pivots way back here in the corner. You can just see the various places where the bars and linkages pivot. This little block that holds your needle bar has a pivot that goes into this link behind it, so make sure you get a drop in there, because when you zigzag stitch, this block slides in and out of this link. I don't know if you can see that or not. See, now it's in close, now it's out all the way. So a little drop of oil in there, a little drop of oil in here where your presser bar moves up and down, just right in there. A little drop up here at the top and at the bottom of this frame that moves your needle bar when you zigzag. I think I mentioned you put a drop on the needle bar above this and above this, and then it'll move it around in there. 2 screws come off the top, and the top lifts off, and you'll be able to see everything in there. That again, just oil everything that is a movement point. And that's basically it for the new home double duty. If you ever unplug it and plug it back in, and the motor starts running without stepping on the foot control, it just means that you've got one of these 2 little plugs in here in the wrong socket. One plug is for the light, which is always on. The other one is for the foot control, which is only on when you step on the foot control. So if you just plug it in and the motor starts running but the light doesn't come on, and then you step on the foot pedal and the light comes on, you've got them in the wrong holes. So, okay, that's it. New home double duty. The case that it's in is in pretty bad shape. I If I have another top that fits it, I'll put it on. Otherwise, you'll get the old ugly top that it's with right now. That's it. This is Mike from Stagecoach Road Sewing. Thank you so much for purchasing this machine and helping us keep doing what we love to do. And check us out on YouTube, Stagecoach Road Sewing. Yeah. Oh, we got somebody walking on the tracks. All right, well, good day.